Good afternoon to everybody. Uh, Today lecture or today course is about how create a dynamic map with the things that we learned up to now. Previous session we learned different classification and symbology, also labeling. We are going to employ those techniques here in this part of the lecture and create a dynamic map. Also, we are going to use some layout view. Up to now, we mainly focus on a data view, but this session, we are going to work with mainly with a layout view. So I'm just open ArchMap before. I don't want to actually waste our time, and I save some time. Let's jump to our staff page. Today I'm going to use this Cypress digital elevation model or DEM to make a dynamic map for you. Let's just hit it and download this digital elevation model. Okay, here we are. Like all the time, we are just drag and drop onto the desktop our staff, and as you can see, the horizontal resolution is something about 25 meter. It is quite good resolution. You are also able later use this digital elevation model in your analyze if you have any let's say study in entire Cyprus. It is for an entire Cyprus digital elevation model. So if you remember, we just hit add data from this panel, go and find our connection. We need to create a folder connection in order to have our data set or shapefile. We just hit to connect to the folder and address to our folder, which is Cypress DEM right now here. So as you can see, it is appear under our folder connection here. So I'm able to add a Cypress DEM accordingly. As you can see, it is all the contour line and the model digital elevation. The resolution is quite fine, and we are going actually here, since we have a huge wetland and we are close to the shoreline, there is not much contour except some few. Anyway, now I'm going to use this contour line. If you remember, the first things that we need to do is going to the classification. Right now, all the contour get a simple and single value. It's look like that all of them have same height. In order to present our work in a more suitable manner, we need to firstly classify. Since it is a contour line and since it is a number, definitely we need to go to the quantitative part. I need to choose a value which is coming from the elevation and add my value up to here. as you can see, and hit OK. Right now, this has become too much meaningful for us. The ones that, let's say, have a low elevation from 0 to 225 meter height, it is classified as a light blue. Accordingly, 225 to 500, it is classified as a green or light green. Then we have 500 to 800, which is classified as a yellow. 800 to 1125, orange. And the last one, 1125 to 1925, which is a red. So we have a classification right now here. Of course, we are able to change our classes in a different way as in terms of the color. We are able to change the color, for instance, something like try to choose a realistic one. Actually, we choose this one. We could also choose this one, but always try to keep the more realistic one and don't do something like I don't know, something like this one, for instance. These are not this kind of color is not actually too much typical for this sort of the map. So when you are present your map, the color, of course, your architecture, and this is a benefit for you and it is plus for you. So please always consider this color issue. The color issue is very important for your presentation technique. That's why I try to choose more realistic and professional color, and this help your let's say map be too much outstanding in terms of the appearance. As you can see, I'm trying to choose some of the color. For instance, is also quite nice color. We are also could be able to increase our classification, something like this. The number it's increased, as you can see. Before we have 0 to 200 something, but right now we have a 0 to 125. It's a resolution, it's become quite better. If we increase the actually if we increase the class, or if we decrease the interval accordingly, we will see that the resolution it's become quite fine. But let's keep as a 5 at the moment, and let me also choose a color maybe like this one. I'm not sure, maybe it's C. Actually, this is not quite forward. Let me check some. Maybe this one. I'm going to use this one. Okay, this is the first step that we want to go as a classification. Now, as I said, this is our data view. I'm now jump to our layout view. You remember I told you you are able to use this bottom of the canvas, this left down here. You are able to switch between your view from a data to the layout view. Also, you are able to use this view drop-down menu and just choose a data or layout view. Which one is easy for you? It doesn't matter. Since my data quite landscape, so I need to change my let's say paper. You remember in a layout view, we are trying to make our layout and we are dealing with a paper. So I need to just right click somewhere here and go to the page and print setup. I just change the standard size. I just choose the standard size A4, and as I said, the data is quite landscape, so I choose also my paper landscape in order to save space. Beside our unit at the moment it's inch. I prefer to change it to the metric. For this purpose, you need to just go to the Customize menu, Alt Map option, and then just change the unit under the layout view from inch to the centimeter. Also, to increase accuracy, I just let's say I just use a smallest division 1/10 to cover the small things as well. Maybe I can also enable my grid to have some nice grid over there. Okay. The first thing that mainly we do, we add some margin. I just try to have a 5mm or half centimeter from each side of my paper as a margin. So since it is a 29.70, we need to have 29.2, and we need one more here. To right now the here. Okay, this is my margin. I need to now change my layer. This layer actually derived from here, this layer. So I need to align it to my margin that I'm defined right now. I'm just align it to it. Let's find also the dime part of it and grab this one also and fit it into my margin at this moment. I need to increase my size. You remember I told you use this panel maybe because it's going to use a fixed zoom and your scale going to work in a logical way and you do not face with a precision or a small amount. It seems that we are able to have it 1/1,000,000 because in the next scale our entire map not fit in our paper and we lost part of it. I just keep it in this 1/1,000,000. Of course, you are able to move between the scale from here and or manually write your scale there. The second thing that I'm going to add, each map requires some title. I need to just go to here to map document property. I give a title for my map. I could say that Cyprus. Okay, and just hit OK. Now I'm going to work with this insert drop down menu. I'll just add one title. The title directly coming from the title. As I said, since our map is a dynamic, so everything it's work with each other. I can also add another margin. I would say that let's keep it like 1.5, and also another margin 19.5. I'm going to put this one over here. With a double click, I'm going to increase my size. I need to just go to the symbol, change symbol, and make it a bit bold. Maybe somehow 26, I'm not sure. We need to check. No, it's not bad. It is fine actually. And I am adjusted according to my margin right here. Another things that we need, for sure, we need some symbols such as a note arrow. Try to keep always the simplest one. Less is more. Always remember it. And put it little tiny here. Of course, you are able to add another margin for it. And put your, let's say, north sign somewhere according. The next things that I need to have, actually I wish to increase my margin a bit. 28. And also increase, I try to increase my margin to 1 centimeter because I need to add other data to my border of the study. That's why I'm increase a bit margin of my study. Accordingly, I can keep this one, I can handle it, this to the inside. Yes, here we are. This is this part. Another things that definitely we need to add some scale bar. For a scale bar, we prefer in a map the scale bar and not a scale as a text. Because the scale as a text, if you enlarge your paper later, the scale is not changed in the map as a text, but in reality the scale of your paper is changed if you enlarge your paper size. For instance, if your design is in, let's say, A4 layout, and then you print out it in a A3, your map scale increase and become twice. But if you write just there 1/100, it is wrong. That's why we prefer to have a scale bar always, because if we enlarge our map, the scale also enlarge accordingly, and you are able to put your ruler or your gauge and then correctly measure. I need to just adjust my scale bar. First of all, the unit, I will going to change it to the kilometer. It's a big size, so we need to have it as a kilometer. Maybe I can change the label to the km. But if you are working in a smaller scale, accordingly you need to change to the meter or other unit. You need to understand the scale of it. Right now I have 4 big division, which is too much. Maybe I need to have just 3 division. I need to check it. Yeah, it's not bad actually. And maybe I need to have a 2 small division instead of 4 division. So it is not bad actually. And maybe the number could be below the bar, like this. These are the tiny adjustments that you are able to do. Of course, I need to be a bit, make it instead of 60, actually 60 is not good. Maybe let's keep it as a 4 in order to have it like 80 or 100, like this. I don't know, we are able to have it as a 50 or not. We need to check it. No, it's not allow us to have it at 40. If I have it like this, still I'm not able to have it as a 50. So just let's keep it as 100, like this one, and make it in this way, and just put it right here. The second thing that mainly we need is a legend. This is very important for us. We need to have some legend to present our data. The legend is coming from, if we have many layer, accordingly we will have many layer here, and we can add our legend item to here. This is the number of the column in the legend. If you have too many informations, definitely you need to increase your column as well. And just hit next. The legend title, of course, can be changed according to your language. You can use different things or things that you wish to add. It's about the border of the legend, background of the legend, and shadow of the legend. But as I told you, try to keep it simple and don't add too many things to the legend. And these are the, let's say, distance in terms of the points between the object of the legend. For instance, the title and items distance, as you can see, if you just move, if you just go through of it, it is show as this arrow to you what is the mean of the each item. For instance, the legend item distance, or the column. If you have two column, this is for instance a two column. Or about the class heading, if you have a different class, you are able also to have this adjustment. Label description distance, patch distance, each patch, we call this, these are patch in GIS actually, and the label with a patch distance. And just hit it as a finish. As you can see right now, it is coming here. I prefer to use a hand to move a bit my map up. Something like this. And right now I am able to move my legend item to this part. I need to adjust some of these things here. I'll just choose and go over it. I don't need to have a Cypress DEM, the layer name, since it is mentioned in the top. I'm just easily get rid of it. Besides, I don't need to have the elevation, because we know this is already elevation and it is mentioned also here. So I'm also get rid of the heading of it and hit OK, and apply. Now my legend becomes better and better. I can change the layout. For instance, instead of this straight line, I would able to choose some zigzag line for the legend, like this one, or some arc line. It is up to you, actually. You are able to make it too much better. But of course, not this one. This is mainly for water. Or we can have a scale. Maybe this one could be fine. I'm just hit OK. Maybe I could enlarge my legend to make it more readable. Also, let's make it a bit small, this one. This is right now very big. Yeah, here we are. Another things that I'm going to do, since we have a few class, it could be better to use a name instead of the number. For this purpose, I'm just go to the property and change the label. We have label here. I could say that low, or let's say very low. Then I could say low rate. Then high and very high. I could keep it like this. This is become more meaningful. I'm just hit apply. You will see that this label automatically change. I can also a bit enlarge it like this way. This is about this part at the moment. Another things that I wish to have, maybe I will able to add some information for items. For instance, how many contour line we have. Something like this. As you can see right now, we have 3,401 contour with a very low height and 2,205 with a low, and 450, let's say, with a very high contour. Of course, you are able to manage here. For instance, you are able to say NO, something like this, and add some distance, or even we can put it inside. Maybe it is better. Yeah, this is too much better now. I'm hit OK again. Another things that we need to have some coordinate at the edge of our project. You need to just choose our layer and right click over it, go to the property. Under the grid, you need to add some new grid. You see there are different type of the grid available here. For instance, this one divide based on the meridian and parallel, or the measure grid, or reference grid, like this one, ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. But mainly we prefer the first one. The first one is too much better to choose, and it is meaningful for us. But if you have some local reference, you would able to use this one or this one. But since this is like a global study, it's better to get reference from the meridian and equator accordingly. I'm just hit OK. It asked me about the degree, minute, or interval between the, let's say, between this horizontal and vertical line. We are able to use a very small plus sign instead of the line, or we just can have only a label. I'm not prefer to use this one because it's make a map very crowded, but the tick mark is better. We will going to see how we are adjust the interval later, but right now keep it as it is. This is about the major division and the minor division that we have. I don't want to touch them also. Let's keep them as it is right now, and because later we are able to adjust all of them. And I'm just hit finish and apply to see the result. As you can see, there are little tiny texts appear in the edge of my map. I'm just go a bit zoom to see what are those. And there are some plus which is refer to the number in both direction, from south to north and from west to east. As you can see, it is 33, 34, and we have just 2 here. As I told you, we are able to adjust them later. That's why I'm not touch them in the menu. I'm just use this zoom to whole page and go to adjust them in detail. Again, I choose this property, choose this grid, and this time we have one here. I'm just go to the property of it. Let's keep it outside to see it better. This is the interval part. Right now we are in a 1 degree. It seems that 1 degree is less for us, so I'm change it to the 30 minute by 30 minutes instead of 1 degree. Let's see the result. You see our number increase. We have right now, instead of 2, we have almost 5 in a vertical direction, and instead of 1, we have 3 here. Of course, we are able to increase, especially in a, let's say, y direction to the 15, to increase this one as well. You see, now it is increased in this direction. Normally, we prefer to have a label in the left and bottom, because same label in a both sides, it make our map crowded. That's why for a labeling purpose, we just get rid of the top and right. As I told you, we don't have top and right at the moment, so we have only at the left and bottom. Again, since this is not vertical, the image is not okay, so we are able to orient our label, the left one, which is this one, toward the vertical like this, to make it much more better as this one. Of course, we are able to increase the font and size of it. From here, I'm going to maybe choose 9, I'm not sure. You're going to see. Yes, 9, it's almost fine and readable. Let's also move to the other part. These are about the major division in both sides. I prefer to keep them because you are able to put your ruler and find the other part from here. Of course, you are able to put them inside or outside this major one and the minor one. Accordingly, you are able to get a different result. Right now, it is outside the boundary of the, let's say, our study. You remember this plus and this line? I told you I prefer to use a plus instead of a line, or this one, which is make a map very crowded. We are not prefer to use this one because make a map crowded, so it is better to use a tick, something like this one, and to have information in detail. This is about this part of the coordinate. Now I am going to hit OK, and let's go to the other part. I'm also prefer to move this legend here and take this one almost somewhere here. Yes, it is fine right now. Anyway, let's go to add some other information. We prefer to add some text such as the author name. As you can see, it is go to this corner and just hit OK. Since I'm not write the author name here, the information not transfer automatically there. But if I'm write the author name, you see this information also coming automatically here. I could able to change, make it a bit big, and then maybe I could turn it to the 90-degree and make it in this way. And then maybe I could put it somewhere here. Yes, this is about the author information. We are able to add some coordinate system information. I will put it here. I will later tell you in a coordinate course what is a coordinate and what is projection and what those things mean. Of course, we are able to add some date, today date. It is automatically appear right here. And another things that I wish to add, maybe we could add one more data layer. As you can see, this is a new data layer, which is right now empty, but I'm going to add some information. First of all, change the name of it. I'm just go to the property, give some name to it. Maybe I can say that detail, hit OK, and I could add same information here as a detail. For a data frame, I change the background to the white because I don't want to see the information through of it. I mean the background information goes plus. And for this one, for this little tiny one, I could use more or a big scale. For instance, I could able to use, instead of this one is 1/1,000,000, maybe I could use for this one 500 to see the detail, or even 250, and move it a bit toward the dense area through those mountains, like this part. This is almost represent same information of this part. For this one, even I could increase my classes and interval to 10 to make it too much detailed information. You see, like this one. Maybe I could able to enlarge it a bit in both direction. I could also add some read over here to keep my frame accordingly. I put it like this way and this way. Maybe from top I could able to minimize it. So this is right now, it is too much fine information, but I need to refer this border or this frame to my original map. For this purpose, we need to define the extent of the map. I'll just go to this one and choose an extent indicator. I will set that this is derived from this extent indicator. Actually, I made a mistake, sorry. I need to choose the other one, the big one, as an extent of this one. You see, right now, this is show that this extent it's referred to here. Of course, I need to change some of the information of it. This red, maybe it's not visible, and mix up with this very high contour. So I need to just change the frame color. Maybe instead of red, I'm going to use not any of this color. Maybe I will going to use this, let's say this keratin blue. Like this one, it is now too much visible. Of course, it seems that it is very thick. I need to change it to the 1.5. Yeah, now it is better. Even you are able to round it to the corner. If you round it very much, like 100% round, it's become like a circle, like this way. but let's keep it as a 0 and to have it in this way. You are able to show a leader like this line, as you can see, and change the color of it again to the same color and the thickness to 1.5, the ones that we used, in this way. This is one method of the presentation. And of course, since the border of this one is black, maybe it is better to put also this one, the data frame color. Maybe we are able to make it double with, again, keratin blue. To keep it in this way. This is one method of the presentation. Of course, you can get rid of this, let's say, leader, or let's say this extend line. I'm going to add some label. Remember previous session we worked in a label. I'm just go to the Cypress DEM, go and activate the label from here and put some label into this part to see what is the result actually. Right now we put some label here. Maybe we can increase the size of it. And we say the place one label per feature. You see, this is another result. You just put some label over there. Of course, we could also put it on the line like this one. And maybe I could also increase my scale maybe to 1/100,000 to make it a bit big and better for understanding. Like this one. You need to just play with this feature. Sometimes it is better to remove a duplicate or place one label per feature part to make a better result on the labeling. Accordingly, it takes time to perform and updating the map. Actually, I think the previous one is better. This thing done experimentally. There is no any specific rules to, let's say, this labeling part. Let's also choose once more this one, and maybe underline again, and horizontal. Let's check what does this one result look like. I think the previous one is much more better. Like curve and per feature. Let's also increase the size, maybe 12, with a gray color. It could be too much better. Yes, this is, it seems that much more better, but let's increase the color a bit dark to make it much more visible for the sake of the course. Yes. Also some other adjustment I will try to have. Other margin to keep this information aligned. And these things. When you put your scale bar, always consider that this scale bar refers to this map. If I put this one here, it is wrong. So this is very important to decide about the location of the scale bar. Maybe I could make it even like this, a small, put it here. Even the outer could be go up like this one. So as you can see, my map right now ready. I'm also able to move it, my entire map, a bit up. Yes, like this one. My map right now ready to use and ready to give it to the customer. Let's also move this one little down. To cover more information right over there. And increase this part like this. So as I said, my map is ready to give it to the customer, but definitely most of the customer doesn't have the ArcGIS in their system. So we need to use a more typical file and provide a more typical file for them, such as a JPEG or let's say EMF to them. For this purpose, I need to just go to the file and choose export map. When I choose the export map, I need to refer the place that I want to save my map. For instance, I could say that in a desktop, which is right now in a desktop at the moment, the DPI is maybe 300. It's fine for us. And we could say that Cyprus EM. You have other different format of course, EMF, EPS. If you want to save it as a vector, of course, you are able to use EMF, EPS, even AL for Adobe Illustrator, PDF, SVG, or Savage-based graphic, and bitmap, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and GIF. But right now, I just use a typical one and hit OK to see my map output, which is right now processing and exported into the canvases. Let's check. Here we are. This is our map. If I'm open it, you will see the quality of it. It is quite fine quality, as you can see it here. Everything appear, and there is no problem at our map in this moment. I hope that you are enjoy this lecture. In this lecture, I try to cover a dynamic map, how we are able to create a dynamic map. This dynamic map, it's actually help you when you change any little tiny things in your map, everything accordingly start to be updated from the color, from the name, from the location, from the size. So this is a logical method of create a map. We try to cover again, we try to emphasize on a classification, labeling. Also, we work with a layout view in this session. This is the summary of this lecture, and I hope you enjoy from this lecture. If there is no question about this lecture or previous lecture, I'm going to stop our lecture here and wish you all the best for you and wish you a good weekend right now from here.
Thank you, John. See you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. See you.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend, teacher.